barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free hit the subscribe button. So let's talk about it. I was thinking too. I need a sponsor. Who wants to sponsor my channel? You know. Oh man, feel free hit me. FHAW17 at Gmail. Hit me. And let's talk. Um, Moving forward, the recap of this fight. I think I did above and beyond. When this fight was announced, I told you guys this was an event. Mikey Garcia is going to get destroyed. And the reason why I promoted it as such, one, I want to bring attention to the fight. And two, I want to drop the betting line. And I know that small channels, but it can reverberate through the betters. You guys know I predict fights probably in the 85 percentile. 32 out of 36 fights I've predicted correctly. No, excuse me. 34 out of 38 fights. 34, 2, and 2 over the last 2 years and something years, right? And I just wanted to, raise the attention of this fight, and I believe I did so on a minute level. I'm not gonna sit here and say, but that I'm bigger and I'm like ESPN or something like that. But I touch you guys every day. I reach out and communicate with you guys every day. Unlike networks, they don't talk boxing every day. I do. And when I went to the arena last night, I realized the people I'm communicating with. I'm not going to tell you how many Mikey Garcia fans stopped me and uh, yelled at me. I mean, as nicely as they could, but let's use disagreed with me. Why are you going so hard on Mikey? Why this? Why that? A lot of them. I took a lot of pictures with them, and it was a good time. Um, and it was a great event. 47,575, and I helped the event, and that's what you want to be as a media medium. You want to help the event. You want it to make money. You want to build the brand. You want to bring eyes to the TV. Help and convince people to buy tickets. And I believe I did that. And I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm just want to bring the attention before I get into the fight. Is that bet and believe on yourself. Own your shit. There's a lot of media members out there working for other people with the same access and opportunity that I have working for myself. And I took well over 100 pictures yesterday at the fight, being as honest as I can. I'm not G'ing you or nothing like that. Met so many people, and to that, I just want to say thank you, and thank you for believing that all I wanted to do was build the fight. Now, let's talk about the fight itself. I had no doubt. I had $10,000. I'm not going to talk about the money. I had no doubt. When I say I had no doubt, I had no doubt. I wasn't concerned. I wasn't worried. People come up to me, you think Mikey can win? You can ask anyone all week. You think I give him the Kanye shrug or something, or it didn't add up. It didn't make sense. And if I played football in college, played basketball in college, you understand the physicality of sports. You understand? When I had the cut block, when I had the crack back, I didn't go man up. I hit them in their thighs. You know what I mean? Or I make them jump over me. And that point 0.5 seconds, 0.8 seconds creates a hole that wide receiver and or running back can get through that hole. And I think boxing fans truly, truly, truly don't understand size and strength. Truly, truly. And I'm not saying that upsets don't happen. Obviously, everyone's gonna say, "Well, Roberto Duran beat Sugar Ray Leonard." Yeah, I know. You got to be special. Mikey Garcia is special, but he's not special to the point where he can go up and beat the best 147-pounder in the world. It takes a special type of something. And I think Mikey Garcia is the best 135-pound guy in the world. I believe he beats Lomachenko. Um, which would make him the best 135-pounder in the world. You know, and with that being said, I've always thought it was more than he can chew. You know, it was a complete domination, complete shutout. It reminded me of Floyd Mayweather Marquez, Floyd Mayweather Canelo. You know, just complete domination. You know, Billy Joe Saunders, David Lemieux. You know, just complete domination. Where even if they threw in the towel, it would have been justified. And Mikey Garcia lost. You know, there are no moral victories in boxing. You know, um, Mikey Garcia was not the better man yesterday. Errol Spence was the better man from the day they signed the contract. And now, because of this fight, Dallas has become a destination for boxing. We'll be going there twice a year. And it's a beautiful thing. And I'm thoroughly excited. I mean, what more do you want to say about this fight? I can tell you guys I was right, and I'm going to do a video on this. I told you the only way Mikey Garcia can hurt him is with a leading hook. His jab will be irrelevant. His right hand will be irrelevant. Remember I did this video last week and you don't know shit about boxing. I box every goddamn day. I'm in the boxing gym minimum 3 days a week. Minimum. So I understand angles. I understand the physicality of the sport. I'm not just talking to you guys on the internet. I'm not saying I'm the best boxer. Please don't get. I'm talking about just my mental fortitude. It's like when you're, if you're in the kitchen watching your parents cook for 20 years, even if you've never made a pizza, you know how to make a pizza because you've seen them make them your whole childhood, you know, or Thanksgiving dinner. You understand how to put the turkey in the oven, how to prepare a turkey. You know, you may not have cooked it for those first 20 years, but you know how. And because I'm in the gym a handful of days a year, handful of days a week, I see angles. I understand the physicality. I see a middleweight sparring a featherweight. You know, they're not they're not at weight, but I'm just saying I see these guys sparring on a consistent basis, and I understand the physicality of sports. And boxing fans do not take that into account. They say, "Oh, his skill level is on par with his skill level, so that makes him better." And truth be told, Errol Spence outskilled him. Errol Spence had more intellect than him, you know. And Mikey Garcia tried to set traps, couldn't do it. Errol Spence fought off the back foot as good as anyone can be. Fought the lead step position, countered great, made Mikey Garcia pay for everything he did. And the last 4 rounds, you saw what happens when you put money in the bank, right? It interest grows, interest accrues is what the banks say, you know. And the last 4 rounds of that fight, it could have been stopped any time after round 9. It would have been acceptable. You know, round 9, Mikey Garcia took some shit where it wasn't even fun anymore because I've watched Mikey Garcia's entire career. You know, like I understand. And I've seen him his last 20 fights. I've probably seen every punch of his last 20 fights, you know. And uh hell of a fighter. The best at 135. And that's just the real spill. And I don't understand. I will forever not understand what Mikey Garcia saw in that Lamont Peterson fight. Because what I saw is, you want me to be honest with you? Errol Spence didn't put everything in his punches. Errol Spence didn't want to be great that fight. The last 2 rounds of that fight, Errol Spence says, "I'm going to do just enough to make these guys want to stop this fight." And that's the truth. And so from that perspective, and I think it's because he had his love and admiration of Lamont Peterson, he didn't want to beat him into submission. And I'm not taking away from Lamont Peterson's effort. But when you're better than somebody, you're better than someone. And right now, Errol Spence is the best 147-pounder in the world. And if you disagree with that, you're crazy. I don't understand. I question any media outlet that picked, or any media person, because it may not be an outlet. He may be a subcontractor of an outlet. But any person who picked Mikey Garcia going into this fight, how? I don't know. I honestly don't know how. And just based being off pragmatic and common sense, right? If they fight 10 times and you pick 10 different fighters in 10 different fights, 80% of the time, the bigger guy is going to win. If and I sit here and I marvel at Errol Spence as I reflect on this fight about how intelligent this kid is. And enough can't be said about Derek James. I love the fact, Derek James said something which was so important. And if you in the gym, you understand this. I, I I know I keep on referring to being in the gym and this and that, but you do not understand shit if you're not doing it. You can talk about it as much as you want. You can read books and you can uh, read articles, listen to YouTube voices, and as much as you want. But when Derek James told Errol Spence, he says, the 12th round, go get him. He said, you don't have to throw a lot of punches, but I need you to rotate on your punches. And I'm sitting there like, if Mickey Bay would have been told that against John Molina, he quite possibly could be having a different career. So could John Molina, right? So many people have lost fights in the 12th rounds, punching themselves out. When in fact all you had to do was just rotate your shoulders into the punch, pivot and maximizing that window of opportunity, as opposed to going in every room in the house and punching the windows out of the. You understand where I'm coming from? Like, instead of physically exerting yourself chasing the knockout, when it's presented the opportunity, give 100% of your effort in that split second moment. And I thought that was great advice. He was up 11 rounds to nothing, and I thought that was splendid advice. And there was a moment in the 12th round, although it was less than a minute, where he could have stopped him. But Mike Garcia said, if I just hold on for 20 more seconds, I won't get stopped. And the last 3 rounds, Mikey Garcia, it was just pride, and it was interesting, man. And um, easy fight, man. I mean, not even 1%. I did many videos on this, and so many people in the comment section was like, "You just hate Mikey Garcia." No, 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 no. I have common sense. That's it. I have common sense. I'm pragmatic. You know, if you hear me talk on this channel every day, I don't make 9 out of 10 of my decisions in life are not emotional decisions. It's higher than that, but let's just leave it at that. I I do make emotional decisions at times, but it emotional decisions will not dominate my life. It won't. And I have a personal common sense metrodome in my brain. You know what I mean? Where it's going left, right, left, right. What should I do? What should I do? And I always know what to do and how far I can take myself. It comes with maturation, obviously. And I'm bewildered by how many media members picked Mikey Garcia. It's amazing. I don't get it. How can you look at him physically and watch the last 2 fights of each fighter? You ain't got to go that far back and say, how can this guy beat him? Anyways, that was my recap. Um, it's nothing real technical to talk about this fight. Errol Spence stayed behind the 1-2, and he intentionally fought with distance, fought with ring intelligence, ring generalship, and he conned Mikey Garcia in the first half of the fight to come forward. And he wanted to land that straight left down the pipe, followed up by a right hook. I knew the game plan, and you can even see it when I was talking to Derek James. I was like, that right hook, and he laughed at me. My first interview on Tuesday, he laughed at me because I knew, I humbly knew, don't know the complete game plan, but I know the physical dimensions of Errol Spence. I know the physical dimensions of Mikey Garcia. I told you guys. His jab and his right hand will be irrelevant in this fight. And people want to debate me in the comment section. Oh, you liar. You don't know shit about boxing. Well, the same day I talked about that, I was in my car leaving Planet Fitness on my way to a boxing gym to go put in 20 plus rounds. I'm not Mr. Know-It-All. Absolutely not. Because Ray Leonard picked Mikey Garcia, and I am less than 1% of what you get what I'm saying. And I don't get it. I don't get it how people can make emotional decisions on something so concrete. I don't get it. Barbershop Conversations. Congratulations to Errol Spence. You and Deontay Wilder are literally the faces of boxing. And I said it, more so than Anthony Joshua, more so than Canelo. I think Errol Spence and Deontay Wilder, from a commentary perspective, from an internet perspective, from a media perspective, from a galvanizing spirit perspective, from driving stories, Errol Spence and Deontay Wilder are the two faces of boxing. And I don't care what anyone says. People are going to say, well, Canelo sells me tickets. We don't talk about Canelo every day. He doesn't speak English. He's not in the news every day. You know, Deontay Wilder has a story every day the past year. Since August, there's been a story about Deontay Wilder every single day. Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Yeah, so if any sponsors out there want to sponsor me, hit me in my email. Let's talk, and let's see if we can come to an agreement. So, Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.